Hello, hello. It is Josh, and we are back for another episode of Password. And I see we have Orlando today for our main menu character, and I assume this is one of the medals they talked about. That's neato. We're just gonna continue the day, I guess, right? I tossed and turned through the night. Something just didn't sit right. Just something about the scavenger hunt had me at odds. Okay. Just something wrong about it. My throat felt dry and my head was spinning. Tiredness lingered from last night as if I hadn't slept at all. I rolled over and checked the time. I was early, and for a vacation I wasn't getting much in the way of a decent sleep. I swung my legs over the side of the bed, groaning and clutching my stomach, as a feeling of unease hit me somewhere deep. It wasn't a pain so much as fear that something was going to go wrong, terribly wrong. In a daze, I got dressed and readied myself for the day. Part of it was laying on my bed, splayed out in an attempt to settle my nerves. The other part was thinking back to the reassurance that Roswell gave me the night before. Things were quiet by the time I got up. Either the others were still in bed, or they were all doing something else. As I wandered around, I heard people in the dining room, so I went to investigate to see who's exactly was up. Friends, of course. Orlando and Roswell were sitting at the table, both looking up as I entered the room. Roswell had his notebook with him again, but before I could notice much else, they were greeting me. Yeah, okay. Good morning, Dave. Did you sleep well? Taking a seat next to Roswell, I rubbed my face, groaning as my eyes still adjusting to the light. Mornings shouldn't be allowed to exist. I mean, they don't in my life. When you wake up in the PM, you know. What even is a morning? Someone needs coffee. Let me get you some. So, what? What's bothering you, Dave? When something's wrong, usually you kind of wrinkle your nose up a bit. I groan again, resting my chin on the table as I slump forward. I haven't been sleeping well, I guess. This whole place is giving me some weird vibes still. Orlando puts his hand on my shoulder, giving me a careful look. Well, for what it's worth, you're not alone there. Felt something off about this place ever since we arrived. Yeah, but you're superstitious, so I don't know, how trustworthy that opinion is. Can't put my finger on it, though. So far, just being, chalking things up to my imagination. I put it down to Roswell making jokes about ghosts, but still. Orlando shudders, trying to shake off a bad vibe. But it was one of those violent shakes that went from him straight into me from the point of contact he had on my shoulder. Well, if it helps, I could give you a heads up if I notice anything really off, and we could go half on a taxi out here. Give me enough a heads up, and I'll cover any costs as a thanks for letting me know. Wow, he just zipped on in, didn't he? Roswell wandered back in a cup with a cup of coffee, placing it carefully in front of me. He seemed just as uneasy as Orlando was as he sat back down. What did I miss? Nothing important, don't worry. While Orlando answered Roswell, I started drinking from the mug provided, shaking slightly sweeter than what I normally take, but the hot beverage was just what I needed to start the day. That's the Dave we know and love. Feeling better now? I nodded quietly. quickly, and I could feel the dopey grin on my face while the taste lingered on my tongue. You look just as shaken, Orlando. Did you want me to make you a cup too? Oh, no, I'm fine. Thank you. I don't drink coffee, remember? Wait, really? How come? Orlando removes his hand from my shoulder and started to fidget, uneasy of how best to respond. There was, some bad experiences. Bad experiences? Like what? Did you do something? Sitting up a little straighter, I tried to think back to all the times we'd go out for snacks or drinks, and whenever I get coffee, Orlando would get tea or something else. Oh yeah, you never did get coffee with me. What was the reason for that? I just swore off coffee one day after something happened, that's all. Tea's better for you anyway. You've been spending too much time with Haas. Coffee's fine. I gesture at Roswell while looking at Orlando, clinging to the validation. Maybe not with how Roswell put it, but sure, coffee's fine. Hey, I'll have you know I'm perfectly functional in the morning without coffee. But how are you so perky in the morning? I just try and sleep well. That, and I take the chance to relax at times, you know. Relax? But how? Well, you just kind of relax there, Roswell. Like, there's no secret formula for relaxing. Roswell and I looked at each other before turning back to Roswell, unsure of how best to reply. What? Isn't that a little personal? He's a guy, and I don't know how it works for dragons. It could be magical, or for all I know. I sat back and enjoyed my coffee while Roswell grilled Orlando for clarification. Not that it lasted all that long, as everyone else started to file in for breakfast. Much like the night before, Ty took the seat at the far end of the table, away from everyone. I shot him a curious look, and he was out of it. Still waking up, it seems. Once everyone was seated, I turned to Roswell. So, why do you have your notebook, Roswell? You don't remember? We're sorting teams out for the scavenger hunt today. Oh, right. But how are we going to fix the whole uneven team problem? Honestly, I couldn't think of a solution that enables us to have pairs, so we're kind of stuck on that front. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught Ty scoffing, but he didn't say anything against joining in. Well, hey, I don't mind the idea of pairs. I looked at Dean, sinking in my chair a little when I caught his expression, almost as if preempting where Dean's mind was going. Sal whapped him upside the head. Whether or not Ty wanted a closer seat to seeing Dean getting hit, or if he was feeling lonely, I don't know. He made his way down the table and sat next to me in the free seat. Pairs seem fine, but how do we pick? Pull names out of a hat? Is it fine to do it at random? I tried to be subtle when gesturing my head to Tyson, but oi, who the fuck says I want to play this stupid thing anyway? Or if I want to partner with any of you to begin with. With Tyson picking a fight on one side of me while Roswell audibly ground his teeth together on my other side, I rubbed my face, hoping we could move on before another fight broke out. So we have no idea of how to get this going. Roswell? Orlando? Anyone? Well, why don't we just pick someone and we can go from there? Maybe if teams start forming, then I don't know. He shrugged, looking at me expectantly. Oh, would it be all right if I just chose? But even then, who do I pick? I look around at the table and wondered who the best choice would be. I had a feeling that whoever I picked would shape the rest of my vacation, though. Well, So, I mean, this obviously is, like, you choosing your route, right? Like, it feels that way. Like all the other times. But it kind of makes me, I don't know. I feel like if I want to do, like, multiple routes in this game, which I will, that's almost annoying. Because now I want to, like, what about that one dinner scene at the beginning? Like, got to choose, so I'd have to, like, go all the way back there, play all of the exploration stuff, but, like, I get it. Ratano. But I'm going to choose Dean, you know, because I want him to be my first route. Dean seemed like a potentially good choice. That said, his idea of fun might be a little more towards the bedroom than a scavenger hunt. Not that the idea was such a bother to me, bothered me too much. After all, the whole point of this was the whole point of the scavenger hunt, right? Not only that, but perhaps this was a good excuse to give us to give having a proper date a go. Chances were we'd be spending a lot of time alone together after all. Choose Dean? Yes. I picked Dean. Me? Well, guess our team is sorted. Who else is going with who? I'll take Orlando. Me? Are you sure? Orlando started to fidget and giggle to himself, leaving Sal looking a little confused. That said, it seems as though their team was set. That left 3 people, and for a moment I was worried as to how this was going to play out. This is fucking stupid. Count me out. What? That makes things easier. Looks like you're with me, Roswell. Nice even teams, after all. Looks like that's the way it is, yeah. I sat back in my chair before looking to Roswell. Okay, so what now? Well, Benson gave me a clue. Hold on, if Benson knows where these things are already, why are we going to go look for them? Maybe he only knows of this one. After all, doesn't make much sense to offer a reward for just running errands, after all. Then there's the whole idea that this is supposed to last a month. Can't have us finding something in a day or two, right? Guess not. But how far spread are these things supposed to be? Don't tell me we have to end up searching the forest too. What's the clue that we have to work with anyway? Oh, right. Probably in the hedge maze. That's not much of a clue. Agreed. It's just sort of tells us where to look. It might have been more appropriate to say something like hidden deep inside the labyrinth of green. There you'll find a green sheen. We don't know if they're gold, do we? Don't know. Whoever just made a better clue would have just made a better clue to go check the hedge maze. This is just the clue that was given to me. What do you want me to do about it? Nothing at all. No point worrying about it, I guess. Exactly. Let's head outside. We filed outside, wandering over to the maze, mostly riding high on the curiosity. I had to admit, it was nice doing everything as a group. These were my friends. These were the people that made me happy. Despite having notably been left out of the team, Tyson seemed to come along for the ride. Splitting off into pairs, we took one last look at the maze. I looked back to Tyson, who just digged around in his ear, watching as the other pairs went inside. Okay, this should be fine. It's just a maze, right? I was revving myself up. A little friendly competition never hurt anyone after all. Even Tyson seemed ready to give it a shot, wandering into a maze with his hands fiddling with something in his pocket and disappearing out of sight. A maze we're about to beat the hell out of. Let's go. Before I realized what's happening, Dean ran into the maze, leaving me behind. Hey, Dean, come back. There was no way I was going to be able to be the only one outside of the maze, so I ran in after Dean. The problem being that I had no idea what turns he'd taken. Dean, where are you? I call out over the hedge walls after a few turns of no success, or even running into somebody. Dave, I'm, very lost. I grumble, rubbing my face. Okay, why did you run off? There was a few seconds of silence before Dean replied. I just got excited, all right? I figured this was going to be like navigating the woods. Once more I grumble, louder this time. Loud enough that I didn't catch the approaching footsteps behind me. Boo! I find myself out of my fur, speaking loudly. Haas, don't do that! Dave, what happened? Did Haas do... Don't worry, I'm coming. Sure enough, after a moment of waiting, Dean called back again, audibly much further. Am I closer? Not doing well. He's not doing so well on his own, is he? You can say that again. Actually, speaking of, where's Roswell? Didn't you two enter the maze together? That's right. He needed a break and said I could go on without him only a little while ago. So I'm flying solo for now. And you're just wandering around by yourself? How are you navigating this place? Honestly, not very well. Once Dean called out, not necessarily any closer than he was before. Although, all things considered, probably better than Dean is doing. Shall I keep you company while you catches up? If you want. Aren't we supposed to be finding the middle and the metal? Sure, but I get the feeling I'm not going to win this one. Not at the rate I'm going anyway. Well, I guess. I didn't think it'd be this hard to find something. If it was going to be easy, then it wouldn't be worth doing, right? Sometimes it's the hard things that pay off the most, but I get the impression you know that all too well, right? I gave Haas a funny look as he edged me around me. I don't get it. No, well, my mistake then. Guess my read on the situation was wrong then. Don't mind me. No, wait, I really don't get it. I'll tell you later. You've got me in the mood to try and find this metal now, so see ya. Before I could say another word, Haas slipped around the corner nearby and out of sight. I huffed, crossing my arms. What was Ross insinuating? Was he talking about Dean? Sure, Dean could be a handful, so maybe he was talking about us dating. As my mind starts to reel from overthinking, I suddenly felt a pair of arms wrapping around my behind. Who? Found you. Dean. I sighed out as Dean let me go, looking down at me, proud as could be. All right, now we can really get started on this metal hunt. We could have gotten started earlier if you didn't run off and leave me behind. Yeah, fair point. Sorry about that. It's fine. Make it up to me later or something. What if I made it up to you now? Dean closed the distance, placing his hands on my sides and guiding me into one of the walls of the maze. He grins, kneading me through my hoodie, watching me react. Dean? All I get in reply is a deep rumble, accompanied with a broad smile. All you need to do is say the word. Yeah, no. I mean, maybe later. Dean chuckled, rubbing my sides for a moment longer before backing off. Later, huh? Maybe later, if you behave and, You tease. Careful, otherwise I'll flick you in the nose. Yeah, if it goes that far, I'll still remember the last time. Yeah. Well, that's what you get trying to kiss me while I'm eating pizza. You didn't bother. Your brother didn't seem to like how you spilled soda across the table either. Yeah, I cleaned it up and apologized. I groaned, rubbing my face. I see what Haas was getting at now. Haas? What did he say? He didn't do something to you while I was still lost, did he? No. Something about how I knew that the hard things in life pay off or something. Hard things, huh? I gave Dean a deadpan stare, which only got me another hearty laugh in reply. Well, I think I'd agree with that. A good day of hard work always feels good. Mix the pay, I can't read this word at the moment, damn it. All the better, too. You still get... We'll just do the embarrassing thing. Because I just don't recognize that word. Am I even typing this right? No, because I can't use a cell phone keyboard, apparently. Now, how does this sound?
Check.
Just check? What?
Check.
Oh, it's like the British spelling of it. This game's British? Huh. Well, the more you know. Okay. I think Echo's writer was British as well. But whatever. Who uses those? Nah, I'll just bank transfers now. Makes it easier. But what about the hard things feeling good? Wait, no, I mean, Dave, you make this too easy. Although I don't mind, you're cute when you're flustered. You do have a bigger problem we need to address, though. What problem? Well, I don't know about you, but I have no idea where we are. Don't really want to be trapped in here for the rest of the day either. Oh, right. Should we yell for help? Might not be a bad idea. Could always try wandering, though. You know, I was wondering about how you got lost. Can't you just navigate? I thought that was that was a thing you were good at. In the wild, maybe. There are tells, signs of disturbances, stuff like that. I could probably track you easily, though. But when it's something less organic like this, well... Dean wanders over to one of the walls and reaches, pressing against the searching. There's just brick walls covered in foliage, so everything else looks the same to me. Ah, well... Call for help. I cupped my hands around my muzzle and calling up to everyone else in the maze. Hey guys, any advice on how to get out of the maze? We're stuck. Yeah, Dave and I could use some help. I laughed along with Dean, listening to the others call out for bits of information they had to share. Try to stick to one wall and follow it until you get to the entrance. Don't worry, I'll come find you. I looked to Dean, who was looking at making himself comfortable on the ground, using one of the walls as a cushion, whilst he sat back. And we got all we got to do was wait, right? Guess so, yeah. Eventually, Orlando found us and guided us back, shaking his head at how we managed to get lost. Dean spent most of the time laughing about it, maybe just enjoying the fact that he wasn't alone and where we ended up. After Orlando brought us out, we waited for the others. Soon enough, we were all together at once. We headed back to get towards the mansion, a mixed bag of how people felt that went. Shame the bout of fun is over. Sorry, but you can't best me at mazes. As if to prove the point further, Orlando flashes the medallion he's gotten from the middle of the maze. The exact route he took to get there, he didn't quite know. But the important thing was that the medallion was found. If it's a game, trust me, I'm the best position to take first place. That was a little harder than I gave it credit for, but at least it was something different. No kidding. But hey, 11 more medallions to find, right? Wait. Everyone turned to me, my eyes darting back to the maze. Where's Ty? Oh, he's fine. Gave up pretty early and noticed him leave just ahead of me to back inside. Didn't even hang around, so maybe he's just working out. Well, alright. Dean patted me on the shoulder, groaning to himself. Remind me not to go wandering in there again. Thought I'd be stuck in there forever. It wasn't that bad, was it? If I'm back in there, I'm bringing climbing gear to scale those walls just in case. Well, I don't think there's another medallion there, so there shouldn't be any need to go there unless you really wanted to. All right, cool, good. So what now? Well, I was thinking I might go experiment in the kitchen for a bit, and then I'll swim. I'm gonna go sort some gardening stuff then. So we're all going to separate our separate ways? Guess I could go read and tell the time for dinner, I suppose. Where are you planning to go, Dave? Me? I don't know. Might go play games or something. Want some company? I was thinking about heading into the woods for some mushrooms, but I want to take a break first anyway. I want to say nah, because it's Roswell. But, like, is that rude? I kind of want to check out on Ty if the game will let me, but... or go to the vault, you know. Nah. Why not? I don't really have a reason, but something about seeing Roswell awkwardly stand there, not expecting me to say no, was amusing. But... just messing with you, come on. Oh, you had me going there for a moment. Racy. You know, that's pretty good. I kind of like that. I'm okay with that not being like a non-choice, because it kind of like makes me think that Dave is kind of a jokester a little bit, in a fun way. Roswell dashes off ahead, almost tripping on the step ladder, the step leading up to the back door. Gee, careful. We didn't get far though, with Roswell eyeing off the stairs leading down to the basement. What's up? Oh, nothing really, just curious. About? Just the room downstairs. What the password and such bees and such. Any guesses? Not really. I've been thinking on it more and more, and the notepad upstairs where I've been brainstorming some ideas. What happened to waiting for the password off Benson? Well, can't blame me for trying. I'm sure the thought of has crossed your mind too. Maybe. Well, before we settle it in for games, how about we try cracking that password? Do we have to? Yes. It's like our duty. Besides, this is just like a game, right? Games are meant to be beaten. You got me there. You head down. I'll just head up to my room real quick and grab that notepad. Don't want me to wait for you? Honestly, I was hoping you could scout the place out and make sure Tyson wasn't around, just in case, you know. Oh, sure, no worries. See you in a bit. I recognize the smell as soon as I get down. It was Tyson, that particular smell that accompanied him whenever he did a workout and then didn't shower after. Based on that fact, I didn't hear him grunting or the sound of the gym equipment moving. I figured I was down here by myself. Alrighty, let's see. The room remained, for the most part, unchanged. The device next to the door was still awaiting some form of entry, although I had no idea what it was looking for. Can't hurt to try while I wait, right? Not that I had to justify it to anyone else. I wandered over to the keypad. Okay, fine. Guess that was wrong. Hmm. Did I even spell his name right? I don't even know. Do I type in Dave's name? Hmm. I don't know. Game? I wonder if does caps locks matter? Do I do game? Yeah, okay. I mean, I feel like giving up just gives me like the bad ending or something. And I just feel like I'm stupid, right? Like, with no other ideas, I wait for Roswell to arrive. Funnily, it didn't take long for Roswell to arrive holding his notebook. Okay, let's see if anything I have works. Think you might have something? Maybe. I mean, doesn't hurt to try, right? Oh, hey, it's like the thumbnail that was on the download page. Okay. That's kind of neat. So we spent the rest of the afternoon going through Roswell's notebook, trying passwords. He only flicked through it briefly before starting his attempts. The notebook set down on the floor between his feet. I sat back and, as Roswell tried each one, taking a break between each to tell me where he got the idea from. With how fast Roswell was putting in passwords, though, it didn't take long for him to turn back disappointed. Well, that sucks. Were you expecting just to happen onto the password? Well, no, but it would have been nice. What about the game? Well, sure, but still. Uh-huh, sure. I'm out of ideas anyway. So I suppose we just weren't meant to open it, huh? Doesn't look like it. The comment hung in the air before Roswell finally broke the silence. I think I'm gonna go look for mushrooms in the forest. Yeah? Maybe if I can find anything good, I can give it to Orlando to cook. Not worried about getting lost. Not worried about getting lost. Not gonna happen. My nose will take me right to them if they're about. And worst case scenario, I'm just able to smell the dinner and come back. Really? Your nose is that good? For mushrooms, at least. Didn't think I'd be able to really track anything. Oh, well, good to know, I guess. So what are you planning to do? Want to come with? Nah, I might just see what the others are up to. Just make sure you tell Orlando to keep a window open so I can smell my way home. Sure, sounds easy enough. We left the basement and returned to the foyer. Roswell waved goodbye and left the back while I returned to my room. After spending the rest of the afternoon in my room, I figured I'd go see how dinner was shaping up. Oh, afternoon, Dave. Oh, Haas, afternoon. Been busy? Nah, just took it easy after the maze. I could have probably done more with my afternoon, but I was tired. Had a bit of a cat nap, did we? Something like that, at least. Did you come up with any leads for any more medallions? Not really. We could maybe check the mansion or something, the museum, or whatever about finding something. But if it were that easy, I don't think Benson would be asking us to find them. Drat. Well, I'm sure we'll hit another clue eventually. Haas and I wandered into the dining room, making small talk. But it seemed the pair of us entered the room at the wrong time. Sal was staring Dean down, but otherwise just grinding his teeth. Dean, meanwhile, looked as though he'd been sprung doing something he shouldn't have. Tyson looked as much the same, bored or fed up with something. At least he didn't seem to be causing whatever it was this time. Orlando seemed flustered about something, The food was already on the table, so who knows what exactly had him acting this way. Do I want to know what's going on? Dean can't keep it in his pants again. No, well, sort of. But he didn't really try anything honest. All I asked was a simple question. Not my fault you guys took it out of context. Context? Sal took 2 steps closer to Dean, and Dean took 2 back. Hey, calm down. Not my fault I was curious. Who else was I going to ask? Before I realized I'd thrown myself between Sal and Dean, I backed up so I could lean against Dean's front, arms folded, and started to stare back at Sal. Just as well, too, as Sal looked like he was ready to throw up the first punch. Dave? Dave, move, please. First, I want to know what he asked. Then, if I feel like he deserves the punch, I'll step aside. Wait, what? All right. He asked if Orlando had any balls. What? Yeah, it came out of nowhere, really. Hey, no, that's not true. There was a reason. Yeah. I'm sure there was. There always is. Okay, well, do we know what the reason? Yeah, I think so. I put down the spaghetti on the table, and then... You can't be serious. Then I asked if he had any balls. Okay, Dean. I could hear Sal's teeth grinding the moment Dean started talking. I mean, sure, I was gonna ask about, like, sauce and stuff too eventually, but that wasn't appropriate. Especially to Orlando. Sal was already flexing his knuckles, readying himself for the punch. Something wasn't adding up. Well, hold on. Sal's eyes narrowed at me, curious, but he says nothing. I turned to Dean, who seemed embarrassed and unsure if he was still potentially going to get punched. So, Dean, your turn. My turn? Yeah, you tell me what happened. Otherwise, I'll step out of Sal's way. What? Oh, no, hold on. Okay, so I might have been curious. Curious about what? So, I was thinking about it after the maze, right? When Sal said he was going to go swimming or whatever. I did what I wanted in the gardens and figured I'd hang out at the pool, you know. Beat spending the afternoon alone. So, like, when I arrived, Sal was either changing or something, I don't know, but I saw his junk, no balls. What? Who wouldn't have asked questions about that? And you just asked Sal what the deal was? No, not exactly. I kind of bailed, figured that maybe I should leave him in his privacy. And you figured you'd ask Orlando about his junk at dinner? Yeah, okay, I'll admit it was poor timing on my part. Did you apologize? Not yet. Well, okay. There we have it. I didn't realize it was anatomical curiosity. I'm not convinced. But the moment has passed. Look, I'm sorry, alright? Just, I asked without thinking. Were you being a perv, though? What do you take me for? Well, Dean. Look, Dean. Yeah. Can't do the scales thing. Just, you know, doesn't feel right to the touch, you know. No offense. Dean shuffles to the other side of the other end of the table, nursing his pride. But at least he didn't have to deal with getting punched in the face. With the excitement for the most part over, we sat down and began to eat. So, spaghetti. Yeah, I got carried away with my experimentation that I lost track of time. Good thing Sal came and found me. Carbohydrates. That's good after a decent swim. Really? I thought it was protein you wanted. Oh, that too. That's why I made meatballs too. Otherwise, it would have just been a really basic tomato-based sauce. Huh, neat. So, I've been meaning to ask, but didn't think it was all that appropriate given what had just gone down. Where's Roswell? Oh, Roswell. I ran out of the dining room back into the backyard without really explaining what had happened. Haas and Orlando had hurried along behind me, and we were now curious as to why I hadn't given Orlando a straight answer. What are you doing, Dave? Roswell, can you hear me? This was my fault. My carelessness had wound Roswell up in the woods along with whatever else called the woods its home. What happened? Roswell was Orlando shook me gently while Haas tried to peel him away. Hey, maybe give him some breathing space to explain. Although, if I'm guessing right, I don't think I'm going to like the explanation. Please, what happened, Dave? I tugged lightly at my fur, peering into the dark beyond of the edge of the trees, hoping to catch a glimpse of Roswell, not to make this whole thing blow over. Roswell said he was going to spend the afternoon gathering mushrooms, so... Haas and Orlando looked at one another, and all three of us now worried. You haven't seen him since we got back inside, right? No, please say you have. Negative. Alright, well, for starters, Dave, I think you better stop tugging at your fur before you get patchy. Beyond that, hold on, let me check something. He pulls out his phone, quickly tapping the screen before holding it up to his ear. We wait, and Haas's expression shifts from focus back to worrying when whoever he was calling didn't pick up. He tried again, getting much the same result. Hopefully his phone is just dead, or he left it inside, but I whined, feeling terrible. What do we do? I don't know. Should we get Dean? Dean's already here. Talking in the third person, Dean? Really? Okay. What's going on? Where's Roswell? I pointed towards the forest, too ashamed to say it out loud. Out there? Now? He isn't answering his phone, and calling out didn't do anything. So, damn, tracking him is probably going to be impossible with it being this dark. We'd only run the risk of getting lost ourselves, or getting injured in the process. I hate to say it, but if Roswell is out there... Dean scratches the back of his head, and I shrank into my shoulders a little more. My stomach tightened with worry, but if searching for him now was a bad idea, our hands were tied. If Roswell is lost... Sal looked directly at me, holding eye contact with his tone serious. You better hope he's all right come morning. Dinner was tense, and we ate in silence. With Roswell missing, maybe it was about his absence, or if we all collectively worried if he was okay. It didn't take me long to get ready for bed, but my mind, though, about Roswell stuck out in the forest. I looked at the window and see the black sea of trees, hoping he was all right, and that he didn't hold it against me for forgetting. I must have been asleep soon after, because I didn't remember really drifting off so much as just passing out. I wake up again much earlier than I needed. I had been sleeping all right, but I'd been awakened by something. Listening in the dark, I waited, wondering if what had woken me up would make itself known. Silence. Nothing but silence. Just waiting was stopping me from sleeping, and I was looking around the room in hopes that change. When nothing changed, I got up, figuring maybe a glass of water would help. The house was dark still, the faint squeak as the door to my room opened and all I could hear, followed by the sound of the same door closing behind me, gently. Something was off with just how quiet the place was, as if every room was practically soundproofed. Hello? Piercing the silence was the sound of footsteps, only a couple at first, before they hurried away without a vocal reply. Who's there? I strained my eyes in the dark and saw a silhouette disappearing into the dark corner of the level we were on. Then, from out of nowhere, you're up late, and you're shirtless. Oh God, Ty, what the hell? I shoved him gently, sighing out. What the hell yourself? What are you doing wandering around? Something woke me up. Something, huh? Well, yeah, I thought I heard... I'm guessing you didn't hear anything. Nope. Just out for a wander. Do you normally stay up this late? Pretty much. Always been a night person. Must be in my genes. Is it the moon thing? Moon thing? Oh, har har. Don't expect me to go howling anytime soon. Well, it's not like I haven't heard you howling before. Bullshit. Dude, once a month you howl loud. You sure you're not listening in, you sure you're not listening in on me getting some? I really doubt it. Well, I'm going back to bed. I don't know about you, but standing out here is getting old. Yeah, probably for the best. You sure you're going to be able to sleep? Yeah, I suppose so. Good, because I'm not tucking you in. Jerk. Anyway, night. Night, Tyson. I watched Tyson disappear into the dark. Maybe it was Benson moving around. Maybe someone was sleepwalking. After hearing Tyson enter his room, I went back to mine. There wasn't anyone else out here to talk to. But even then, I didn't sleep easy. Okay. Day 4 completo. There we go. Huh. Yeah. I mean, that was a cool chapter. I did like it. I'm wondering, like, how this is all playing out, I guess. I hope that Roswell's okay. And I hope they kind of, like, tell you more about how the password system works. Because it does feel bad just kind of, like, entering things at random. But I'm sure it'll, like... I mean, they say you're here for a month, so I assume it's a 30-day game around. And, you know, we just stopped off at, like, day 5, so... You know how it is. But, yeah. We'll continue this some other time. See you around.